So just to confirm, Sheldon Keefe has just said Auston Matthews will not play tonight. So no Auston Matthews. Bobby McMann will make his NHL debut. Furthermore, Keefe saying the ailment for Auston Matthews is something that has been bothering him for a while, which I think anybody who's watched Matthews play this season, take nothing away. He's on pace for 40 goals this season, has not looked like the same player who won the Hart Trophy and the Rocket Richard last season. So I don't mind some health. And on top of that, Rosie, it looks like Nylander is going to start up the middle because they don't want to tinker with what they have in the bottom six, which makes a lot of sense. So that gives opportunity to others. You see the lines right there, and thanks so much, Alex, for putting those on the board. Bunting, Nylander, and Engvall potential there on the second line with Yarncroke, Tavares, and Marner now flanking the first line. But again, I don't mind this. It looks like McMahon's going to play on the third line. I think you have to see what you have and the front end of a back-to-back, and you got the dads in the building too.
Yeah, very cool. I wonder if there's enough time for Bobby McMahon's dad to get on an airplane, man, because I would that would be a huge thing for you to be at your son's game where you're like around the team and everything else. It'd be an absolute whirlwind for that family, which would be unreal to see. But I want you to look at that and take a look at, if you do get rid of one of those guys in the top six, how much it shuffles up and thins things down in that bottom, seven. All of a sudden you got Engvall on the top six. You got an unproven guy on the third line, and that fourth line is pretty solid, which I think is just staying the way it is, which is why, I think that's the projected lineup right now, is you keep that fourth line, which has been, no problems, no issues at all. But it really thins things out when you do get rid of one of those big boys. And I think you need to think about that come the trade deadline on what it's going to look like if you do delete some players, and what are you adding. And you really got to look at what does that do to everything above and below you when you start messing with the lineup, because it's been pretty solid so far. But it is interesting to see when you yank one guy out, where things start to shuffle up. And I'll be honest, I don't love Pierre Engvall in the top six. He just doesn't seem to be the guy to do it this year.